Okay, I am working through the homework from Chapter 6, Section 8. This is question 170. It's the one with the confidence interval. Now, your numbers will vary a little bit because of the randomly generated questions, but the procedure should be pretty similar. So we're going to use the normal distribution to make a 99% confidence interval for the difference in the population proportions, P1 minus P2, given that the sample proportion from sample 1, P hat sub 1, is 0.78 with a sample size of N1 is 420, and the sample proportion P2 hat is equal to 0.64 with sample size N2 equal to 340. So we're going to start by giving the best estimate for the true difference in proportions, P1 minus P2. And since we're looking for a difference in population proportions, we're going to estimate that with our difference in sample proportions, 0.78 minus 0.64 is 0.14, so that's going to be our best estimate. Okay, I need to submit that answer. Whoop, I accidentally mistyped that. I said 0.14, but I typed 0.15. Submit my answer. There we go. Okay, now I need to create the margin of error. Now, strangely on this assignment, it's not telling us how many significant digits to use or how many decimal places to round to. It just says the tolerance is plus or minus 5%. So I am going to do the margin of error to 3 decimal places, and I recommend that you do the same. So here's the relevant information from that question. I'm looking for a 99% confidence interval, and I know my margin of error I can find by taking the correct Z star critical value, that gives us 99% confidence, and then multiplying it by the standard error, which is given by this formula. So for my particular level of confidence, 99%, my Z star is going to be 2.576. My standard error formula, square root, I'm going to take my P1 hat as 0.78. Times 1 minus 0.78 divided by 420. And then my P2 hat is 0.64. Times 1 minus 0.64 divided by my N2, which is 340. Okay, so if I enter this into my calculator, I have 2.576 times my square root, 0.78 times 1 minus 0.78 divided by 420 plus 0.64 times 1 minus 0.64 divided by 340. So this is going to give me my margin of error, which is 0.0848. I'm going to round that to 0.085. And submit my answer. Okay, so now I'm going to use my point estimate, 0.14, and my margin of error that I found here to create my confidence interval. And I'm going to use these values that were accepted before. So I have 0.14 minus 0.085. Whoop. 0.14 minus 0.085 gives me 0.055. And I have 0.14 plus 0.085. Gives me my upper limit, 0.225. And now I'm going to enter these. And submit my answer. And that's correct. So it's very, very difficult to get the correct answers with rounding problems on this particular assignment. I highly recommend that when you round your margin of error, you do it to 3 decimal places. And then when you calculate your upper and lower limits, you use your point estimate, round it to 2 places, plus or minus this margin of error that you put in here. And that should get you in the correct tolerance. Hopefully this helps you. And I'm going to make another video for the second question.